Let's begin with the special prosecutor. The suspended CEO of the Public Procurement Authority, Ejene Boateng Ejay, today has been meeting with the special prosecutor for a second time. Also present at the special prosecutor's office is the general manager of TDL Group, Thomas Amoah. He was captured on camera attempting to sell government contracts. The PPA boss was suspended, as you may well be aware of, because he is co-owner of the company, TDL. Joseph Akable is a man at the special prosecutor's office in Labone. He joins me with details on the very latest. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Gifty.
Well, is the session over at this point?
It's been quite a long day, and the session, I must say, is still not over. It's still on. And the white car behind me, the Mitsubishi car behind me, in that vehicle are 3 individuals who are key aspects of this particular unfolding story. The car has Augustine Obo, he's a legal practitioner, together with ABAJ, who is the suspended CEO of the Public Procurement Authority, and his brother-in-law, Francis Ahin. They are the 3 individuals in that car. Some few minutes ago, when they exited the office of the Special Prosecutor's office and walked towards the car, the lawyer told me that he had asked for some time to have conference, which in simple terms means that the 3 individuals have asked for time to engage each other before they go over to the office. You can see the car moving at this particular moment, and the 3 individuals are in the car. The car is moving away, and so that is Mr. ABAJ together with his brother-in-law, Francis Ahin, and their lawyer Augustine Obo moving away. I must say that since they came in the morning, they have been engaging the police investigators who are on secondment here at the office of the special prosecutor. It has been a rigorous interrogation that has seen them exit the office on 2 occasions, lasting more than 40 minutes. And the information we are getting is to the effect that they went to various locations as part of the investigations. Some of the locations we understand could possibly be the homes of the individuals in this matter. The general manager you talked about, Thomas Amoah, who is in the thick of affairs because he's the individual who was captured in this particular documentary attempting to sell contracts to a company that was set up by Manasseh Azuri-Awini. And so that is the situation here at the office of the special prosecutor.
Well,
we just saw them drive away, but Mr. Amoah, I've not seen him exit since they returned. Gifty.
Well, Joseph, we know that earlier today he was there and then he had to leave and come back. Do we understand the circumstances surrounding this movement?
So this movement, our sources say, relates to issues of verification, and so it has to do with documents that are at various locations. It also has to do with the fact that the homes of these individuals, because we understand that the procedure that is taking place here is that once the individual goes in, they are told the charges that are preferred against them. And for Mr. ABAJ, we know for a fact that he was granted bail yesterday, and the charges relate to crimes bordering around the sale of contracts. And so for the second individual who came over, Thomas Amoah, today, we understand that the investigators had to go over to identify his residence. We also understand that there are bits or issues relating to documents. I can see the car coming back. If the cameraman, Yusuf, could quickly pan to that side, the car is coming back. Just move away from us just while we're speaking. Mr. ABAJ, together with his lawyer and his brother-in-law, and the car returning to the office of the special prosecutor. We expect them to alight and move back in there. So it's been quite a rigorous day, a tough day for them, I must say, as they continue engaging the investigators here. They drove beyond the building. We expect them to return, because just when they exited the building, before they sat in the car, they told us that they had not concluded the session and that they had actually asked the special prosecutor for some time to have conference before they can continue. So your question about the locations they had been to, we understand it forms part of the investigations. And so they didn't actually move the first time in their own cars. There's a Toyota Camry, a blue-black Toyota Camry, which has a GP registration number, which obviously means that it belongs to the Ghana Police Service. That was one of the cars that they moved him, Mr. Thomas Amoah, in together with investigators the first time. For the second occasion, that same car with Mr. Amoah in whilst his lawyers followed with a white car that viewers have seen move away from the office of the special prosecutor on 2 occasions since we started this interaction. And so that was the second time they left. Each of the movements away from this particular premises lasted well over 30 minutes. And we are 2 different locations was where they visited, after which they came back here to continue the engagement. The special prosecutor himself left this place not too long ago. And we understand that he is allowing his investigators to look at this particular matter keenly, and they are looking at it. And those are some officials of the office of the special prosecutor that you can see in your shots just coming into the office now. And so it's quite a busy day here at the office of the special prosecutor, because this is a matter that, as you recall, in that letter the president referred to, the president said that they should expedite this particular matter. And so we understand that the office is working assiduously to ensure that they stick to the timelines and ensure that they finish this particular investigation as to whether the case will proceed beyond this particular level or not.
Interesting movements there we've seen. It's also very interesting to see the vehicle just move it out right now and move back in and actually drive beyond that premises. So it'll be very interesting to understand what is happening, but certainly I'm sure we'll get to that. Joseph, have they been speaking at all? What do they say if they have?
They haven't been speaking yet today, except that the 2 occasions when we tried to speak to them, the first they told us that they had not concluded their engagement with the investigators for today, and so they cannot interact with us. The second time was when they informed us that they had asked for some time from the investigators to be in conference, after which they will return to continue that engagement. But at least we know for a fact that when they came over yesterday, they have publicly spoken, making their points. Mr. BAJ himself saying that he believes that the public is not treating him fairly because he has not done anything wrong to deserve that treatment. We've heard his lawyer also make the point that, in fact, daring whoever claims to have purchased the contract from the Talent Discovery Limited to come forward and prove with evidence of a signed document and that they have actually, those are contracts that they have actually been able to purchase. And so he says, he described the documentary that was put out as sensational. And so as far as they are concerned, this is something that they are going to fight all the way throughout. He makes the point that Mr. ABAJ has a number of companies that he owns, which are engaged in various activities as he prepares to head on retirement. And so he doesn't see anything wrong with him owning those companies. And more importantly, he doesn't think he has committed any crime for which reason his image should be tarnished in the manner that it has been done. So those are the interactions that the lawyers have been putting across when they came over yesterday. Augustine Oboe again informed us on Thursday when he spoke to the press that his client ABAJ had been granted bail. And he went on to say that this is something that they are following keenly. In fact, he described the general manager as a boy in his words, saying that if you go and pay money to a boy, you say that because of that you have dealt with the company. At least we know for a fact that all those are aspects of the investigations that the officers here at the Special Prosecutor's Office are not letting go, for which reason that you have the CEO, Francis Ahin, also being part of the team from the Talent Discovery Limited, coming over to the Office of the Special Prosecutor today, as questions are also asked of them. Because, mind you, the documentary did indicate that about 14 contracts are what was awarded to the company, and most of these contracts, we understand, was either sole sourced or was under the restrictive tender process. And so the various MMDAs wrote to the Public Procurement Authority asking that approvals be given. So those are all aspects of the investigations that the investigators here will be seeking to uncover. And so for those who are just joining us, who may be wondering what Mr. Amidu's office look at, this is the Office of the Special Prosecutor right here. That is the entrance here. And this is where all the interactions that we are trying to pick information on is taking place.
We'll hang you on briefly, Joseph, because I'll come back to you so you tell us about his demeanor, Mr. Ejenim Boateng's demeanor, as well as the others that are with him. But let's just play this soundbite from the first meeting that he had with the special prosecutor yesterday, where he said that he's been crucified for no wrong done. Apologies, sincere apologies for that. But we can hear from the counsel for the chief executive officer, the suspended chief executive officer, who says that the documentary alleging conflict of interest against his client is essentially much ado about nothing. Mr. Obo said, like everyone, he fumed when he first watched the investigative piece. However, after conversations with Mr. Ejenim Boateng, he has come to conclude that calls for his client to be arrested are baseless. He spoke to Malik Abbas Dabu on our front.
The highest contract DDL won was 1.9, and they have executed 5 contracts. None of them has been paid. So which contract is for sale? This is not a good way we should run our country.
How long did the interrogation last?
It was less than an hour. We were there in the queue. I said people would say that we were being heckled or something. It was less than an hour.
What explanation did he give to interrogators in respect of his co-shareholder giving contracts out and taking percentages back?
No, that is not the question that you are asked the shareholder. He said, no, look at my age. Look at my age on the stage. There is this company. He has several companies that he does run, agrochemical and all that, as he's on his way out on retirement. These are the things he's going to do. He even has a pure water company, wife and husband, that is sachet water. This is normal with public servants.
That is counsel for Mr. Ejenim Boateng Ejay there. Let's go back to Joseph Akable, who is at the Special Prosecutor's Office as we speak. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Gifty.
Joseph, tell us about the demeanor. What did he look like? How did he look like? I mean, did he look happy, excited, sober? Tell us.
In fact, so far, if the best description I could put across is that he seems to be in high spirits. I mean, with all that has happened over the period, when he was walking in, he didn't look angry. Neither did I see him smile. Yet, he didn't seem sad either. And he was interacting with those he was walking with. In fact, when I went closer to them, I could hear him asking questions of his lawyer, asking him when exactly they'll be coming back. He seemed quite okay. For at least I have had the opportunity to see him on different occasions prior to the broadcast of this documentary. And if I'm to be asked whether he seemed any different from what we had seen in times past, I would say that he didn't seem any different. For the others, Thomas Amwa, when I came in, initially the gates of the Office of the Special Prosecutor's Office was open, and on the compound I could see them interacting with the others who had come with him. He also seemed fairly happy as he was talking and laughing, and in fact, when they saw us outside, they were looking at us and engaged in their conversations, and so he also seemed normal. Francis Ahe, I must say, he, in terms of his demeanor, was a bit different. He tried not to walk in the direction of our cameras a bit and tried to move away. He seemed to be a bit in a pensive mood, and so that is the difference in terms of their demeanor and how they looked among the 3 individuals. The lawyer appears to be upbeat on all the occasions where we've asked him questions for information. He has been willing to indicate to us at what stage they are in, and at a point he was even remarking that, this has actually been quite a long day for them.
Well, Joseph, it looks like for now you're going to have to keep waiting for a while to see how the action unfolds.
That is so, Gifty, because it's been quite a long day, and officers here are ensuring that they cover all aspects of the investigation that they must cover before they decide on what to do next. In fact, yesterday was set aside for the suspended PPA boss. Today was for Thomas Amwa, who is the general manager of the Talent Discovery Limited. Yet you had all the other individuals who are key actors in this particular matter coming over to join him here.
Thank you very much, Joseph. And as we've seen the vehicle has gone past them, hasn't returned yet. But Joseph is on the ground for us to cover everything that we need to know. Joseph Akable, our court correspondent there, following that story for us.